Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Report, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's take a look at some of the stocks on the move today. We can do that today with Bloomberg's Tatiana Darrier. Tatiana, what are you looking at today?
Well, Paul, AI seems to be back, but it looks like investors need more convincing because ASML ADRs here pairing those morning gains and swinging between gains and losses after the open. After those blowout results that bode really well for tech earnings here in the U.S. later today, bookings in the fourth quarter were a record at 13 billion euros. That's $16 billion, nearly double the analyst estimate. Wow. The company also announced that it plans to cut 1,700 jobs, or about 4% of its workforce. Well, the Dutch chipmaker is holding its analyst call right now, and this is where the shares have turned around. The CEO has stressed customers are starting to believe that AI demand is sustainable and ramping up capacity, but for them, it only means a gradual increase in supply. So to some of the analysts, this stresses a more cautious approach, and we're seeing some of that commentary come through our Top Life blog, which is covering the call in real time right
All right.
now.
Thank you for explaining that distinction there and why the shares have come off a little bit here. How about let's stay in the chip space? You've got another chip maker.
Yeah, moving on to the more boring part of the semiconductor industry, if you will, and that is analog chips, which are used in cars, factory equipment, and anything that you want. And that is Texas Instrument is the biggest manufacturer of these, and shares are up 7% after a surprisingly robust forecast for the first quarter, indicating that demand for industrial equipment and vehicles is recovering from a rough patch. So its guidance for revenue is above the midpoint there. And then also profit is forecast to be above estimates. And this upbeat outlook signals that customers have worked through the backlog of inventory and are starting to make purchases again. This is all good news for the semiconductors that are not directly exposed to AI and have been heavily lagging in recent years.
Red headline crossing the Bloomberg terminal here. Treasury Secretary Bessent says U.S., quote, absolutely not, end quote, intervening in dollar-yen trading.
Yeah, but this speculation was really percolating like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, we get a comment from the Treasury Secretary?
I guess we've got, I'm looking at the DXY index here, up a little bit. It was down most of the morning, but now trading up a little bit higher. All right, Tatiana, one more for you.
AT&T shares are up about 5% after reporting fourth-quarter profit and revenue that beat analyst estimates, posting the best broadband subscriber growth in a decade. The third largest U.S. wireless provider showed that adjusted earnings per share increased to 52 cents, beating estimates of 46 cents, and signaling that its strategy of being a one-stop shop for all people's connectivity needs, like a mobile plan and also an internet plan, is working out. And that stock can definitely use some help after that sharp turnaround from late last year. It was down 7% before today. Now it's down about 4% for the month of January. And today's results definitely puts the stock on a better trajectory.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.